Okay, we are live, Thomas. Hi, everyone. Thank you for all joining me for this AMS session. I'm Shazid Ahmed, Community Manager at Cloudways, and I'm deal with like partnerships, getting to know more about customers better, and interacting with them at all. And the very thing like I love about my job is that it to allow me to connect with the people who have given me so much the community and get to learn from them. With that thought, I'm excited to introduce my today guest, like who exactly ticks all the boxes to be featured in this session. We have with us Thomas Nápoles, originating from Porto, Portugal. Uh, Let me tell you something like a few details about Thomas. Like he is an expert in digital marketing strategy and SEO, search engine optimization, with year of experience as a product specialist. Thomas offers practical insight and proven techniques to unlock the power of SEO. So we will be taking about all things SEO and marketing questions, anything and everything. We will try to cover it all briefly, and I do have all your questions as well as that like you shared with us earlier. But before I starting throwing up on Thomas, like let's allow this gentleman to walk us through about his journey. Over to you, Moro.
Thank you, Shazad, for the introduction, and it's a pleasure to be present in here in the AMA session hosted and provided by Cloudways. So, when it comes to my personal journey, actually, I didn't start it in digital marketing. It's interesting because I studied pharmacy back in the days, but after some years, I decided to move in another direction. I started to study marketing, then due to the university, I started an internship in a startup in a SaaS model, software subscription model. And then that's where I started to do some things about SEO. And that's when I started to be passionate about this field and about this industry. Nowadays, and currently, I'm working for Wincher. Winter is an SEO provider, and my goal and our goal is to help businesses to be more present online, measuring their online performance, and of course, improving their rankings. That's all it matters in the end of the day.
Thank you, Thomas. Like we have received like a list of questions that you guys had shared with us, and we will be sharing like taking your live questions as well. But due to like our time constraints and in respect of like Thomas' busy schedule, I really want to thank uh, Thomas again for taking out time us today. So let's dive in and take your questions. The first question like will be showing on the screen. The first question is like, what are the most common mistakes people make when first implementing SEO strategies on their websites?
This is a really good question, Shazeb. Well, I would answer that first, people are impatient nowadays and they are waiting for fast results. And SEO, it's a long term strategy. It's not something that you do today and you will see the results afterwards. And
Mhm.
a good comparison that I can tell it's if you compare Google Ads, or meaning paid results, versus SEO organic results. You have this rabbit and the turtle racing. The rabbit probably is the Google Ads. You are getting immediate results because people are clicking your result in the SERPs, and
Mhm.
organic results, it's a long-term strategy. So I would say e-pensions, it's one of the common mistakes. They don't wait for the results to actually show up. And the other common mistake as well, it's people are relying on tools like Wincher
Mhm.
or many others, and they think that just by subscribing to the tools, they are getting results. Um,
Mhm.
these tools or tools like Wincher, they help understanding their SEO results, their organic results. But you need to do something actionable in order to start seeing those results. And usually, by my experience, it can take sometimes up to 6 months to see the final results from a published article or an optimized content that you just made. Okay, so I would say impatience and relying on tools solely and not actually doing something to get those results.
Okay. Okay, so the next question is like, how do you approach keyword research for a new website in a highly competitive industry? Like for like agencies, like there are many agencies nowadays. Are there any tools or strategies? Like I'm sure like you're gonna highlight venture here.
For sure, Wincher is definitely a tool that you should use when it comes to keyword research. But placing or having a content ranking in a good position in a highly competitive industry, it's an hard task. I'm not going to lie, it's really hard. Back in the days, there were just a few websites and it was a no-brainer to rank. And nowadays, it's the internet and SEO, it's highly competitive. Okay, answering your question, when you are running a keyword research, I would focus mainly in three things: the search intent, the KD, and the volume. The search intent, it's the intent behind the search. So when you are writing or developing an article, a content to your website, to your business, to your domain, you should be focusing on the intent that's behind that search. If the intent is commercial, well, probably you don't want to make an informational one. Rather than it's an informational one, you don't want to place your content in order to convert immediately. Okay. When it comes to KD, it stands for keyword difficulty, and it's a KPI that Google shares or search engines shares with everyone, telling you how hard it will be for you to positionate yourself in the first position. So by crossing the search intent, the keyword difficulty, and the volume of search, you should select keywords that have a lower KD and a higher volume in order to get that juicy traffic that you want to your domain in the end of the day.
Okay. So yeah, the next question is like, what metrics do you consider most important when tracking SEO progress, and how do you adjust strategies based on the metrics?
This is a really good one because nowadays people are just really focused in vanity metrics, I would say. If we take Instagram, people just focus on how many followers they have. But the question is, having 100K followers, does it mean that you are going to convert or you are actually driving value or revenue to your business? Well, it's exactly the same when it comes to SEO. People only focus in getting the first position, but it
Hmm.
doesn't matter if you have the first position for a certain keyword if that keyword alone has like 100 or 1000 volume searches per month. Personally, I would rather focus on keywords that have um, low volume, but it actually drives value to the audience that we are targeting. Another good metric that I would focus when it comes to SEO and that alongside helps your strategy would be bounce rate as well.
Hmm.
Bounce rate means people that only visit a single page of your website, and you want to engage with the people that are visiting your website. So, following these things that I've just mentioned, I would answer with the qualified traffic. So you want to aim for the people that really matters to your traffic and not to the people in general. Okay. Creating a couple of strategies, trying to engage with them and visiting other pages by missing the bounce rate. And yeah, but in the end, it's always about qualified traffic. Okay.
Okay.
Position, it's good, volume is good, but it doesn't really matter if you don't aim for the correct audience yet that you are
Quality over
targeting.
quantity. Quality
Is
over quantity.
perfect, perfect,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. So the next question is like, can you share your top tips for on-page SEO optimization that many websites tend to overlook?
Wow, this is a hard one because there are several things when it comes to one page that people should focus and people overlook. I would answer this with first meta description.
Hmm.
Meta description, as people know, it's a small introduction that shows up in the SERPs telling briefly what's the content is about. So definitely it's a metric that you should focus on. Okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
Broken links as well, I would say. So it's basically the same that Shazeb, do you want to visit my house? I've got this for you in here. But then when you click, you don't see anything. It gets back to you a 404 error, and
Mhm.
well, Google doesn't like it, and search engines doesn't like it, don't like it at all. So
Mhm.
broken links, it's also something that you should be focusing on. Uh, Also the slug. The slug is what comes after the domain. So in this case, cloudways.com slash whatever it's afterwards. And
Mhm.
usually by standard, when you publish something, it goes with the algorithm, can be 1A, 2B, 3C. And my advice is to tell exactly what's the content about. So if this is an AMA, it could be just AMA instead of 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. And probably the last one, and this includes a bonus tip, it's images.
Mhm.
Nowadays, or back in the days, images weren't a thing, or was just a couple of websites that added images in their domains websites. And people, when they are uploading the image itself, they tend to miss the name file or the file name. They upload it like the way they download it to their desktop. Again, it will go with the algorithm like 1A to B, and they just can create or edit the file name for that image. And when they are uploading it, they already have the name behind the image. And the good one that people miss as well, it's images alt text. Just for
Mhm.
curiosity purposes, this was something that search engines created for blind people to help
Mhm.
people understand what's the content or the image about. So yeah, that would be my question, my answer to your
Yeah,
question.
that's like fascinating answer. I really like that. So like you discuss about the search engine, like Google. Everybody knows like the search engine, Google search engine is the top. But you, as you know, like there are other search engines as well, like Bing and other. So do you think like they are still relatable? And if you are doing SEO, on page SEO or other stuff related to SEO, so you have to keep in mind other search engines as well, or not?
Personally, and I haven't tried SEO for Bing or other search engines. My focus currently it's on Google itself, and the answer it's honestly is Google has, I guess, over 80% of the market share. So
Mhm.
the focus should be where our audience is. But definitely, if your audience is on Bing or other search engines, you should not miss them. Okay. But
Mhm.
personally, I'm not confident to answer how to run SEO for other search engines.
Sure, sure. Thank you, thank you. So the next question is Thomas, like how do you align your SEO and content strategies to ensure maximum visibility and engagement?
Uh, well, content is king. It's not.
Still.
It, I think it is still king, but more than being king, it's delivering value again to what really matters to the people that are reading and watching us closely, right?
Mhm.
So by running keyword research again, like the previous question that you just placed, you need
Mhm.
to aim for the correct audience that you are targeting, right?
Mhm.
So it doesn't need to develop, or you don't need to develop 100 blog posts in a week. You need to
Mhm.
be consistent with what you are doing. So when you start developing content, and you come up with, okay, I will be publishing one content per week. Don't forget, it's one content per week. And people tend to do it for a couple of months, but after the third, fourth month, okay, now I can do this one monthly, and then I
Mhm.
could do one per quarter. And that's a wrong strategy in my opinion. To ensure maximum visibility, also another thing is creating, for example, internal backlinks. You want to engage with the people. You don't want, and like I've referred in the, I guess, two questions before, you don't want them to bounce rates. You want them to
Mhm.
visit the website, visit the article, visit the product that you want to, but you want them to keep navigating in your domain, right? And by creating a sort of internal backlinks, you can just direct them into another blog post or page that makes sense for those for that initial content that you developed. But engagement, it's also about social media. You need to
Mhm.
be present in different platforms: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and so many others. So you need to be consistent. You need to adapt your content into the place where you are writing the content. It's
Mhm.
completely different writing something in LinkedIn rather than in Instagram. And yeah, I would say that it's consistency, the keyword research, not forgetting about again the intent behind the search query, and trying to direct them and make them stay more often in your domain, for example, with internal backlinks.
Mhm. In a nutshell, like consistency is the key of success.
Totally, 200%, 200%.
Okay, so the next question is like, what is your approach to building high quality backlinks in today's SEO landscape, and how important is link building in your overall SEO strategy?
Yeah, I just covered a little bit of this, but it's really important. It's one of the major ranking factors nowadays in internal backlinks. Sorry, it's backlink strategy. Why? Because search engines recognize it as someone endorsing yourself. So if I'm talking good things about you, it's a good thing, right? So more people talking about your domain, about your business, means that you have more credibility about the subject that you are talking on, right? A good strategy that used to be really common back in the days was answering Quora questions, the website Quora, going to Reddit by placing a couple of questions or answering a couple of questions, and you ended up providing your website, your domain to whoever is reading. But it's a really high competitive niche, backlinks. People tend to buy backlinks
Yes.
nowadays. I completely am against that. Okay.
Okay.
um, if they are not qualified, again, it doesn't really matter if you have 100,000 backlinks. If
Hmm.
it's a no follow backlink, it won't drive value to your website, it won't give you authority. So I prefer to hand pick them, try to follow industry leaders or industry best performer websites, trying to approach them. Would you like to change a backlink with me? In this keyword, it makes total sense because you are talking about, for example, SEO. Would you like to send or to highlight SEO as a keyword to winter in our case? And we can do the same as an example to Cloudways, because in a certain article, we have cloud or hosting related stuff. And that's how I approach quality backlinks in these days.
Okay. Thank you. So the next question is like, how do you stay updated with the constantly evolving SEO trends? And you can't and can you predict any major shifts in SEO practices in the near future?
Um, I don't have my magic ball to predict the future, but I will try to give my best in this case. To stay up to date, well, attending conferences, definitely, it's one of the best places where every industry leader will be present and will discuss certain topics. I try to attend as many as I can. Last year, for example, I have attended one of the best in the industry, which is Brighton SEO.
Yeah.
Amazing conference. So many industry experts talking about SEO in general.
Cloud is
If
a
you,
sponsor to that.
I do remember.
Yeah.
Um, if you can't attend conferences, there are other things like webinars or AMAs. So something that what we are actually doing in here for people that are watching us, it's a good way to learn a little bit more from what's happening in the industry in SEO in general. Subscribing to newsletters. I have my top 10 industry experts. I am subscribed to every single newsletter of them. To be honest, I read it in the diagonal because I can't keep the pace to read everything that they provide, but it's also an awesome way to be up to date. And the last one would be probably Google updates.
Hmm.
Google does regular updates to their servers, to their systems, and you should be updated with what they are telling, what they are changing for the future. I've seen dozens and dozens of clients' websites that were armed just because of a core update. They weren't prepared to what was coming, and they do this and they do announce it with a couple of months before. So be prepared for what's coming in the next update, so you are not reactive instead of active. Okay. um, and
Okay.
about the future, again, I don't have my magic ball, but I would say that will be around AI. Everything would be more visual. Like I told you before, nowadays there is more images, but the trend now it's definitely video. I
Hmm.
don't know if it will be the metaverse or anything else, but
Hmm.
AI, it's here to stay. People are using now or relying a lot in AI to develop content, and Google and other search engines are already recognizing the content as AI generated. And we can't forget that we are talking to people. We are using robots, yes, like AI, but we are talking to people. So AI, it's a good help, but definitely it should not change a copywriter, should not change, um, in this case, the quality of the content that we are delivering. Okay.
Okay. So we are in safe hands.
I guess, yes.
Yeah, and the next thing is that like I'm sure you must have your own newsletter because it feels like the aspiring SEO specialist gonna subscribe your channel as well.
To be honest, I don't have a newsletter. It was in my plans back in the days, but following exactly what I've told you in the beginning, it's about consistency. And
Yeah.
if I'm not able to provide a monthly newsletter or a weekly newsletter, I prefer to not do it. But definitely subscribe to newsletters because it's one of the best things in order to keep pace of what's happening. Yeah.
All right. Thanks for this answer, Thomas. So the next question is like, can you discuss the relationship between UX user experience and SEO and how improving one can benefit the other?
Um, Well, UX and SEO, they walk side by side. Okay, having a good user experience will make the audience or the person stays in your website by reading more and more and staying more time in your website. One of the worst practices that I see in the field, it's, for example, publishers. I do understand that it's a highly competitive niche when it comes to monetizing the website, and the bad practice that they do run is they provide a lot of ads in their content. So I've counted in an article back in the days 12 ads in the same article, and I don't know if I'm actually reading an ad or reading the actual article. And nowadays, people have become so clever in this field of ads that they are making everyone think that it's an actual content and not an ad as well. Okay,
Mhm.
so by combining a good user experience, you are able to make them stay longer, and yeah, it will influence the success to one of the other. It will impact positively, a good impact. It will impact positively the SEO, a good user experience. And on the other end, if people are not liking the user experience when they navigate, they will just get out of your website. So I would say that they do walk side by side, and you need to focus again on delivering value, not populating with a lot of ads. If you are a publisher, if you are an e-commerce, yes, your goal is to convert, but don't add 20 CTAs trying to add the article
Clutter.
to the product, sorry, to the shop cart.
Mhm.
So yes, that would be my answer.
That's great. That's great. Okay, so like this is gonna be my personal question as well. I would like to
Please.
add some sort of it. Like, but the question, accurate question is like, what is your approach to conducting an effective competitor analysis for SEO, and how often should this be done? And my part is that like, how you personally differentiate other SEO tools with Venture, like for instance, Ahref, SEMrush, and other SEO tools. What benefits are like Venture offering itself, and like how you can differentiate.
I will try to give you an answer about competitors, and then I will talk a little bit about Wincher versus
Sure.
our competitors. Okay. So the answer is, and this answer is 100% always correct. It depends. Okay. Basically, it depends if you are an agency, if you are a freelancer, but in the end, you should run competitor analysis often. I would suggest, if you don't have time, at least monthly, once per month, okay,
Mhm.
but on a regular basis. With Wincher, for example, you can see an actual benchmark about how your competitors are performing for the keywords that you are tracking with us.
Okay.
Okay, so you can understand for which keywords they are outperforming you, and
Mhm.
it's completely straightforward here with us. You can see, okay, for this keyword, my competitor is top 3 while I am in the top 10. With a simple click, you can understand their best practices, such as the slug, the title, the meta description, and it's an awesome way for you to steal a bit of their best practices and adjust your reality into that. Also, another thing that we at Wincher do provide, and it's an amazing one that our clients love it, it's keyword gap. So you can identify basically the top keywords or the keywords that your competitors have, which you are not tracking. So you can easily identify, okay, my competitor A as this keyword in the first, second, third position. And if they are writing or developing content about that keyword, probably I should do exactly the same. And
Mhm.
again, this is a long strategy. It won't be immediately, you won't get immediately results after publishing something about it. But on the long term, you are slowly increasing into a way that you can compete and hopefully outperform your competitors. Um, Now, comparing Wincher to SEMrush and Ahrefs, both of them they have amazing tools. Okay, I won't tell any bad thing about them. I will tell you on the other end that our tool, it's made for everyone, while theirs is more focused on experts, I would say. So if you are starting on the field, you might get overwhelmed with SEMrush and Ahrefs offers, while with Wincher, it's really more straightforward. But this doesn't mean that you have to be a noob or starting right away to start with Wincher, because we cover every single different reality, from a single man show to an enterprise agency. We are covering everyone. So the learning curve with Wincher, it's smaller, I would say, than with them. And also, we are more affordable. So our entry price, it's, I would say, one third of their actual price.
Oh,
So it's a good way to kickstart your online journey. But they are amazing. They have amazing tools as well. But of course, I'm biased in this one, and
very,
I will
very,
highlight Witcher.
yeah, very safe answer.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, so the next question is like it's connecting with my last question. Like, what are your top recommended SEO tools for keyword tracking, competitor analysis, and on-page optimization? I know the answer, but I just want to hear from you.
Again, I'm biased in this one, of course, that I want to share Wincher with the community. Wincher will give you everything that you need, since keyword tracking to competitor analysis to on-page optimization or even keyword research. Okay, but besides Wincher, I would suggest if you are probably Google Lighthouse,
Mm,
definitely. Lighthouse gives you something about Core Web Vitals. Google Trends, it's also a good way to find what's trending in the market, what keywords are trending, where should you aim at for the future. Google Search Console, definitely. It helps you index your content faster and you can identify what is or what's not indexed, and they also provide errors for you to easily correct on your end.
mhm.
And for other generic site analytics and major competitor analysis, I would recommend SimilarWeb in this case.
Okay. All right. So the next question is again related to the AI, but like, how do you envision the future of SEO, especially with the advancements in AI and like ChatGPT? Like every next person is using ChatGPT nowadays, and machine learning technologies. Like,
Um, it's definitely a trending question, a trending subject. To be honest with you, last year we had a team meeting, team meetup at Wincher, and this was one of the questions: how can we be prepared for the future that it's already in here? It's not the future; it's the present. AI, ChatGPT changed the world. Now
yes.
people are just relying on ChatGPT to create content and create onboarding newsletters or onboarding journey when you subscribe to a certain software.
Mm,
How do I envision? You need to use it, but don't forget that we are talking to humans. So you need to add your personal touch into that. Yes, it's good to generate a couple of bullet points and gives you an heads up about what's happening, but don't forget that we are talking to people. We want to drive value, and yeah, probably machine learning. I won't be the best person to talk about it. I'm not a technical person in the field, but
mhm,
the future of SEO is promising. I hope to be alive to see what's coming next, and it will be really short. If you see, the internet started, commercially speaking, 30 years ago. ChatGPT started less than
mhm.
2 years ago, and people are already adopting to it. So use it, but carefully. Don't forget about the personal touch and that we are talking to humans. That would be my answer.
That's that's true. That's true. Such a nice answer. All right. So the
Thank you.
next question is like, like every person is now talking about web page speed, core web vitals. Like, so like, how do core web vitals impact SEO rankings, and what are your recommended best practices for improving these key performance metrics on a website?
Well, I've talked about Lighthouse from Google.
Yeah.
Lighthouse definitely gives you some guidelines that you need to follow in order to don't harm negatively or impact negatively your domain. Probably page load speed and other guidelines that they do provide. Um, Again, to be honest with the audience that is watching us, I'm not that technical when it comes to Core Web Vitals, but I would say follow the guidelines. There are a lot and a lot of tutorials out there in the internet about how to properly follow those guidelines that, well, the source itself provides to us. So by following those guidelines, you are more than comfortable to have a better and reliable website domain. Okay. Um, yes, but the best practice and the first one would be page speed. Definitely, definitely. You want to have fast loading website. If your website takes longer than 5 seconds, and I talk by personal experience, and everyone that is watching us, they think the same. I'm almost sure. If it takes more than 5 seconds to open, I'm bored, I'm impatient, so I will close the tab. While if it's immediate or 1 second load speed, well, I will stay in there. I will browse. I will navigate. I will continue reading what's in that specific domain. So probably the best one, page speed, but follow the guidelines. You will be in the correct path.
So like in short, like page speed is like a first impression, and the first impression is the last impression for the audience and the user.
For sure, definitely, definitely. But again, this comes alongside with the user experience. The previous
Yes.
question that one last question that you mentioned, it's all everything when it comes to SEO. It's somehow connected. Keywords, intent, content being king, driving value to the audience that it's targeting us. The load speed, everything, the sum up of everything will make your website more visible, more trustworthy, and more with more authority to the eyes of the search engines.
Yeah. True. So, like Thomas, like we have the last question, and this is something related to our product, like Cloudways and the cloud hosting. So, what do you think? Like, can cloud hosting solutions significantly improve SEO performance? If so, what aspects of cloud hosting should be prioritized for the best SEO outcomes?
Um, I would say that you should be the person answering this question.
But
But
today I'm the host and you are the guest, so you have to answer this question.
I'm kidding, but I would play safe in this case because I'm not a cloud expert in the field. I would say that having load speed or page load time, it will definitely help, like I've just answered in the previous question. Cloud hosting as a distributed resource model, you pay what you get for, and people tend to go for the cheapest plans, and it's totally fine if you have 20 visitors or 30 visitors per day. But if you have 1000, 5000 visitors, you should get more reliable plan, probably a more expensive one. Yes, I do understand that people are limited when it comes to budget, but then you can't complain because you are paying for what you are getting.
Yes.
So probably increasing your plan with the cloud hosting provider that you are using, and specifically for cloud hosting providers, I would use dedicated and local servers. If I'm in Portugal, but if I'm accessing something that it's in Canada, it will take much more time to load. While if that server was in Portugal or in Spain or in Europe, usually in Germany, that's where most of them are, it will be a faster connection. I would access faster to that website.
Yeah.
So definitely, same as UX, cloud hosting walks side by side with SEO, because
Mhm.
if it doesn't load fast, people will get out of the website. If you get out of the website, they are returning to the SERP. That's dwell time. It's also another metric that um, it's highly discussed in the SEO field. Dwell time, people that click in your website and they just go back to the search engine result page. So yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Like you mentioned, the target audience location and data center location. That's true. But in some case, like if uh, in some case like there is no data center in your location, for instance in Porto, so you can somewhere in the nearest location, and you can choose CDN. Like we have recently partnered with the Cloudflare CDN, and it will help you to reduce the latency rate. So yeah. Okay, so like
For sure, for sure.
yeah, Thomas, I remember like you have a surprise for Cloudways audience, Cloudways users. I just want you to share with them.
Thank you, thank you. Definitely, we want everyone to try Wincher at its best. We do offer a trial version of Wincher, so you can try everything for free. It's for 7 days, but after the 7 days, I'm really happy to provide a coupon or a discount voucher that will help kickstart your online journey, either if you are starting that online journey or if you are in the field for several years. So you just need to use the promo code Cloudways, and it will provide you a 20% discount for the next 3 months.
All right. So, Thomas, that was pretty fun. Thank you for all your questions. And as we have reached the conclusive part of our session, but before we sign off, I want to request Thomas if there is anything he like to add up and share before we wrap up about this session, about everything
I want to
or anything.
thank you for the invite. I want to thank the audience that reached out until the end, meaning that it was useful for everyone. And don't forget about SEO, and don't forget about the first question that was made. Don't be impatient. SEO takes time. You are not going to see results in the first, second day. It might take up to 6 months, but you will start seeing the results slowly on your end. But don't forget about SEO. You want to be present in 1 year from now. What you do now, it will have results in the future. So organic results, it's definitely a good way to have a digital presence and to increase your online visibility in order to, of course, drive revenue. That's what people want in the end of the day. So that would be my last advice in this case, if you
Hmm.
allow me to.
All right. Well, Thomas, please accept our kind gratitude for taking the time
Thank you, thank
to join us today. Your insights, your expertise have added immense value to our session, and we are truly honored and grace your presence. Thank you for sharing, enlightening, and enriching our community. And thank you for all the audience who share with the questions who shared the question with us. I really appreciate your all sending your question. Thank you. Take care. We'll see you in another AMA session. Take care.
you.